Okay, students, one of the things that you had asked me to do was certain methods of doing curling iron methods, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do finger waves with your curling iron. And this is just basically holding it vertically, and you're just going to turn it in. And it's okay for you to use both hands as you do this to manipulate it in. And see that little tail? That little tail is going to be the last thing that goes in. And I'm going to bring that up close and come down. All right, I'm going to now do the next one. And what mistake did I make, students, when I brought it up close? Because the mannequin can't talk. Right, I did not put my comb right there. She was screaming silently that I was burning her head and her ear. Okay, so these are going forward. The next section is going to be going back. So we're going to be doing two things today. I'm showing you this kind of quickly. Okay, and again, you see that goes on the bottom. Click out, and remember it stays loose between the head and the iron, so you can click out. If I put it tight, it won't open, so I have it very loose. Then I roll it in, place my comb under there, hold it for just a minute, and yeah, it's warm. And then just loosen it a bit to let the spiral curls out. All right, another one. And bring it up. Curling it in the opposite direction. And see, you can do this over the whole head. I'm just doing it on one side to show you, but you could start from the nape, go one way, go the next way. Once you get to the tip of the ear, then you match it. You blend it right there. The next one is now going to go forward. Just don't forget what direction you went to create finger waves out of spiral curls. Okay, these are going to go now forward again. And that's basically what finger waves are. They go one way, C-shaping one way, C-shaping the other way. You can do this with rollers if you wanted a permanent set on it. If you're doing hot rollers, you can do the same thing with that. It doesn't change. It's what it is, it's the movement and the direction that you're taking the hair. So, and you see, I use both my hands. It's okay, you're not unprofessional by using both your hands. Click it out just a little more, loosen it to click it out. Bring it in. I got a little tail right there that I got to click in there. So I'm going to just go ahead, click it in. As I do it, it's traveling there. It's all the way in there. Okay, another one. Probably just got a couple more of these. Now we're going to go back. Now this time, I'll probably do 3 of them as opposed to 2. And then that would be the same around the occipital area. You're going to do more at the occipital than you did at the nape. And of course, if you travel around to the side of the head, you're going to do more in this center section area. Okay, bring it in, hold it, and then click it out. And again, you want it curled all the way in. You don't want any little tangs left out. Okay, this is going back. And just click. That's why you had to practice that clicking method. When I showed you how to use your curling iron, you had to click out on it. And we are going to be doing that in the classroom too. We're going to go back over that again. Each step that you learned on video, my hope is that we're able to do all of them in person as well when we meet on Tuesdays. With this pandemic, you guys are making history. You're in that area. I mean, who has the opportunity to say, I made history, I lived through it, I sacrificed, I started and I finished in this history-making pandemic? Okay, the last one. Those went back, this one comes forward. It's off the back. Okay. And you notice that that's down. I bring that end down as opposed to up. And you can hear the iron clicking as I do it. And you'll see a little bit of steam because the hair's just a little bit wet, just a little damp, not bad. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do 3 up here as well. Comb through that, make it nice and clean. And this time they're going forward, drop it down. Loosen it a bit, turn it. And I love this iron because it's so much easier than the one I taught you curling iron with. I mean, both the shank and the handle move. There you go. Make sure it's all the way to the scalp and click out. And you can see that lift where it was, yes, all the way to the scalp. Okay, last one. Okay, so you can see that I'm bringing it over. You can go ahead and use both hands. Don't be foolish. You don't want to burn yourself and you don't want to burn your client. That does not make you unprofessional. It makes you cautious. Okay, so I'm going to bring that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to comb it down. Okay. Curl going this way, curl going the other way, and you can definitely see I should be doing this, get a better result doing it with a brush. But you can see the movement of the finger waves that you can do. And now this hair's longer, so it's going to, sacrifice the weight of it, and I had no product. But as I move it, you see those curls coming in. So it all just goes forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards. It just does a really nice finger wave effect. So I wanted to show you how to do it with the curling iron. If somebody wants that, they've got it. And see, it combs right into it because the curls will follow each other. And you get that real nice S shaping in there. Okay? So I wanted to show you how to do that, and again, if you bring it up, you see it even more. It travels upward because, yes, that curl memory is there. See that? That curl memory is there, so it really pulls it up. So, anyways, I wanted to cover that with you. Let me turn off my iron. Always turn it off when you're not using it. And what I want to cover with you today, and we're going to bring the camera really close. I'm going to drop this down just a bit, maybe, so you can see it. Oops, I'm turning the wrong thing. Okay, drop it down just a little bit. There, not that far. Sorry, let me bring it up now. There you go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that good? Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is, this is my quadrant up front, in the back, I'm sorry. And normally when you do a retouch, here's the choices. You could either start from the bottom and you keep clipping that up, and I'll do that on the other side to show you the difference again. I gave you a demonstration on it yesterday. Your subsections are going to be done with the back of your tint brush. You can use your comb if you want, but let me show you the steps if you decide to use your comb. I'm going to place my tint brush into I'm using conditioner so you can really see it. Okay, so let's say that I subsection it, and then now I'm going to get my tint brush. Okay, that's 2 steps right there. So let me bring that down. So I'm going to, again, let me show you. When you dip it in, doesn't matter if you do this, doesn't matter if you do this. The main thing that you're going to do is you're going to wipe the back of it. Do you want me to show it again, cameraman, or is that?
Yeah.
Show it again? Okay. Doesn't matter if you go straight down. Doesn't matter if you take it off the side. You still wipe the back. You want dirty, clean, always. All right? If you do this, the likelihood of it dripping, can you see that? It becomes more extreme. You're going to get it on you, you're going to get it on her, you're going to get it on your chair. Always wipe the back. It solves that problem. We're okay. All right? So keep that in mind for that. So you won't be able to see me do it every time, but you'll know that I am doing it either way. Now, see, it's not going to drip. So now I can take and leave that up and do my subsection, bring it up, and then place a little bit there, only about 1 inch. Take my tint brush, roll it over like that. Do you see that lifting up? On longer hair, it works better than the shorter hair. When I demoed it the other day, I demoed it on shorter hair. You see that now. And when you're doing a tint, your subsections need to be a little less than 1/2 inch, about 1/4 inch wide. 1/4 inch is about right here, all right? It's about right here on your tint brush. So your tint brush can be a point of measure for you. 1/8 is a little less than the tip of it. Now 1/8 is the tip of your rat tail comb. So measuring, I mean, and when you go to boards, that's what they're going to look at. They're going to look at the separation, and they're going to look at the width of that separation. So now I'm going to open up the next one. See, I haven't dipped yet. I'm going to dip, wipe, come up, get both sides, lay it over. And you see that separation. Now, as I get a little wider, I may do 2 of them as opposed to doing 1. Right now, while my brush is clean on both sides, because I just wiped it on there, I can go ahead and, it's called slicing. Slice through it, okay? Now, again, I think you can see this a little better than you could with the gel. And then I'm going to use my brush, see, to kind of loop it over the brush. So you see those separations as you do it. I hope you can see them. So now it's getting wider, so I'm not going to be foolish. I'm just going to take one section, dip, wipe, put it on there. And you can put it either on top or the bottom first, it doesn't matter. The main thing is you don't want to press them together. In other words, you don't want to just slap it up there together. You want to keep them separated because of the natural heat of the scalp coming through. All of it is being colored the way you want it. If we squeeze them together, the area that's exposed to the air is going to be covered more. Now here is another factor that happens when we're doing this. We tend to miss this area here, the section that you sectioned all 4 quadrants with. What some people do is they go through and mark all of that first before they even get started. The only reason we do not is because, now is it wrong? Well, it could cause an error. And again, have we talked about color having brains? When we put that on the part, because we tend to miss it, does the color have brains and says, okay, I'm going to wait till they're totally finished and then I'll start working? No, as soon as you apply, a chemical reaction is immediately happening. So you want to, you want to learn to be quick. And again, you see that I use my tint brush, and you want to be thorough. Now what we're going to do afterwards, when we're totally finished, we're going to bring this down. And then if we see those spots missing. So once you bring it down, especially once you develop, now see this time I'm doing the top and then the bottom. Hook it over. And because I'm down here, where it's directly in front of me, that's why I'm doing the top first and then the bottom, because now I'm going to hook this over. So it's doing the same thing. Then the bottom, oops. And this is a retouch. Now a retouch means like you've colored your hair black or brown, and now you're just coloring that regrowth, or you may call it the roots. It's not the roots, because the roots are underneath the scalp. The hair root is underneath the scalp, not on top. This is all new hair, so it's grown out brand new. New growth, that's what it's called. Okay, so as we get a little higher, the tendency for these to drop becomes a little extreme. All right, they may kind of relax down a bit. So what you do if that happens, you get a clip. Oh, I have some right here. And you just hold it up so they stay up. And see, the hair is long enough, it's going to reach up there. So we know it's going to hold it. It seems to be holding it just fine right now, but if they fall down, I'll get that clip on there. Top, bottom. And if you need to, like if you don't have enough color, if you've taken out just a tiny bit of color, and then you think, oh, I didn't have enough, go ahead and redip before you move it over. All right. So that's your retouch application. The other side that I'm going to do, I will start, and I'll see the start to want to come down. So I'm just going to tack that up there. It's not going to hurt anything, it's still separated. Okay, so I need another maybe smaller clippy. I'll use one of these. Okay. And again, what you're going to do, now I'm going to start at the bottom again because I'm moving it up. And now I can take bigger sections again. I'm going into a more narrow area. I think I will do the top first. Then come up, clip that in there. Now I'm going to hold this down, get that, hold it up, clip it in. Put that down, bring it up, clip it in. Now they seem a little tighter now, but hang on a minute. When you're finished, what you're going to do, okay, this is the last one. This is where you have to be careful. Again, along the perimeter line. You want to get the inside first and then very gently pick it up and just keep it at the hairline. Okay, now I've got this last one. I'm going to open it up like that. Got those next few, and see how they just kind of open up by themselves because I did that little twist with it. So they open up by themselves. They separate themselves. And you can see where they're all like elevated a bit. Now, what you do now is you're going to check to see where you're possibly dry. You're going to, and you would do this once you're totally finished putting the color all over. And you'll be able to see the change in the color. And so let's say that we've done this all over. And we're going back to look at it. Now we've gone horizontal, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take some subsections vertically, still keeping them separate, and if there's a spot that we missed, then we touch it up and let it fall back down again. And it still falls separately. Now when you go to state board, this is all you're going to do. You're not going to go back in and check it. They just want to see that you know how to apply to keep it separated, and it kind of almost like comes out like a horse's tail right there. And normally, yeah, it comes to the center. That's normal. Okay, so what I want to show you now is if you're going to, and I'm only going to do a small section. Let's say that we decide, okay, we're going to start from the bottom and go up. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to clip it up. Okay, we're going to put the color on, flick it over, unclip it, okay, and then take a section, and then bring it up, and then pull this color up, put some there, clip it over, and then unclip it. Why not just keep moving forward? The only clip you need to do is when the hair starts falling down. So I wanted to show you that. What I want to show you now is how to do a virgin lightener. Now, a color retouch is done exactly the same when you're doing a relaxer retouch. Method is the same. There's only one step that you do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to do, let me see, what I'm looking for is a piece of foil. Cameraman, would you give me, just reach over there and get me a paper towel from my paper towel rack over there. The thing about doing a lightener, especially a virgin lightener, the precautions you have to take are necessary. You can't, like mess around with it. You have to be very careful about what you're doing. So what I'm going to do here is, and normally you could use a piece of foil or you could use a paper towel, whatever. You want to fold it over and you want to place it on the other side. And you'll understand why in just a very few minutes, because what I'm going to do is the way the application is. So the way you apply is extreme when you're doing this. So when you have a virgin lightener, now this is going lighter. Normally when you're going darker, it's done depending on the tones again, depending on what you're covering, depending on what you're doing. But normally going darker, you can go from scalp to ends because you're going darker, all right? It all depends on porosity levels. Those are all factors where possibly, let's say that they're really damaged on the ends and you're going darker, don't leave out the ends till about the last 10 minutes, all right? But if you're going lighter, you have to do it this way. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take a section out. Now I'd be wearing gloves, all right? So on the lighter, this is called the mid shaft. This is the new growth, mid shaft, middle of the hair shaft, and the ends. So all we're going to put the lightener on is on the middle of the hair shaft. The reason for that, now see, I have to lay it down. I don't want it touching the other hair. If I lay it on the other hair, is that lightener going to say, oh, I am a lightener and that hair is not supposed to be lightened yet, so I'm just going to lighten this hair, but I'm not going to lighten the other hair? No, it's not going to say that. It's going to do its job, period. It's a chemical reaction as soon as you mix it together. So then I'm going to take the next section, again, dip and wipe the one side, so you always have your clean and your dirty side, mid shaft, and that's like about 2 inches away, and this is a virgin lightener. She's never had it lightened before. And then it's always advisable. Now you can see that I separated the two. Now you notice I'm bending it at the bottom as opposed to the middle. Okay, so, and that's just again to separate it. Now remember, these subsections are skinnier. They are 1/8 of an inch. And that's only because you're going lighter and you want to make sure that all the hair is covered. Now see, I'm going to put it down here and fold it over like that. It stays separated. So a virgin lightener is necessary. Now my recommendation on any type of lightener, because you don't know how long it's going to take and how fast you're going to have to work, or if you can take your time or not. Now see, that lightener is laying on top of the lightener, and because we loop it, you don't have to worry about touching this hair. So as I loop it up, the amount of length in the hair is going to be the same. Do you see what I'm saying? That's going to be the same length. So that's not going to touch each other. So I'm just going to take half of it here because we're starting to get wider. Again, careful. And again, if you're concerned about it, you see that I looped it away from that new growth area. So just a little bit away, so take it, and then just keep it separated. And what happens is you almost don't have to clip these because the lightener itself or the color itself will attach itself right there. It's touching each other. We're just keeping that area at the new growth separated away from itself so that it doesn't get on that other hair. And you kind of want to bring it, yes, you want to bring it to the center, because if it rests over, then you're going to be getting this section of hair a little bit there. So yeah, working fast is essential. And then once you develop the little habits of, okay, this, all those little steps, after a while, there is no thought pattern to it. You just automatically do it. And see now, there you go. Attach it there. So it's going to stay. And I'm staying away from the scalp. And attach it there. And bringing them to the center, as you can see that. They're all coming down to that middle spot. So this would be your lightener retouch. Now, since we're in this section, remember the virgin relaxer is exactly the same way. The only thing you're going to do on the virgin relaxer is, after a while, you're going to open these up. You're going to separate them, and I'm going to show you how to bring them back down again. But once you bring them back down, once you've done a section, or it's time to check it to see if the relaxer is working, you're then going to get your comb. And this hair is, let's pretend it's very curly. We've put a relaxer on it. 3 minutes? Okay, we've put a relaxer on it. So we take the back end of the comb and you just bring it down, and if it doesn't sponge back up or just a looser curl, you're just going to take it. This is called silking, or it's called a soft press. All right? And you're only going to do it on one side. So that's how you'll find out if your relaxer is working or not. Okay, so being that we only have 3 minutes, I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm going to show you how to bring this down. Let me finish this line right here. I'm going to show you how to bring this down. We're going to pretend we're all the way done. All right? And these are all put up, and all this is kind of stuck together. Okay, so when you bring it down, what you're just going to do, you're going to loop it, because you're going to have color all the way down, right? So you're going to loop it again to keep it separated. See that? You're going to pick that up, and they're going to kind of cling to each other. And it's a little bit harder to do, but you want to keep them separated. You can see that they're separated right there. Looks almost like a braid coming down. But you see that that hair is separated from the hair on the scalp still yet. It's attached to that color product that would be on that section right there. So finger waves, color retouch, lightener, virgin lightener, and virgin relaxer, both ends. That'd be the only thing you would do different. Okay, thank you, students. I hope you got information from this. Please do this. We're going to be talking about it in class. It's on your schedule to be checked off to have been done. It's going to be assigned. Take care.